welcome to Accelerate. This is the headquarters of Accelerate in Attercliffe, which is our shop. But Accelerate is much more than just the shop. When we set it up in 2006, I think it was now, we wanted to be far more than just a shop and have the shop as the base to support sort of our wider running community.
Well, yeah, it's always been kind of, well, there was two things, wasn't there? We were both like fed up of working for other people and all that went with it. But you were racing a lot of the time with adventure racing, and with what you were doing with the team, it was difficult to get support. And somehow or other, I got dragged in by a chap called Keith, who's actually still coaching with us. And we went from there, didn't we? And then I was halfway through setting up Accelerate, and then you kind of decided that you quite like to do something like that, and we started talking about the whole thing, and eventually joined forces and actually opened up the store. And we started going out to fell races, didn't we, with the kit and adventure racing, which was kind of had a little bit of a growth thing going on. But primarily for me, it was always about supporting people, not just having a business. I guess we should have probably, instead of being a limited company, it's probably been a social company.
Yeah, so we started in our living room, basically selling out of our house, and going around races and selling the goods for a few years. And we've still got some of the customers that came to our living room who still loyal customers of the shop today.
Well, and they're involved in the wider things that we do with the community, aren't they? And it's also interesting. The first thing we did was support Team Accelerate and with the adventure racing. And I remember a great trip out to Portugal with them. Again, did very well. We were helping with coaching, product support, actually obtaining sponsorship. It was good fun. Well, it still is. And then that kind of developed into the running side of things. The coaching developed. Along came the performance centre, the physios, the massage. Colin, who's been here pretty much from day one with definitely sorting out feet and technique, and really just gelling it all together. And then I always remember a chat with the then chairman of Dart Peak, Andy, and he was saying that there's all these fell races in trouble, basically looking to fold. And he said, was there anything we could do to help? And over a pint of beer, we came up with the idea of the Gritstone series, and that was one of the first things that we actually did to kind of go out there and kind of actually help. Website, leaflets, series prizes, supporting the local races. And in that time, we've seen new races come along and flourish, and we only actually lost one of the events, which I think is really quite pleased with that. That's good.
Yeah,
it's a good thing.
And then we've developed lots of community groups. So we now have Accelerate Trail Runners, Wood Run, and Running Past 50, all of which are flourishing. And I think one of the main beauties of them is our community of run leaders, who are just superb. We have the most amazing people who just give up their time week in, week out. I think thoroughly enjoy it, but are just amazing, inspirational people who we're just so proud to work with.
Yeah, they're just amazing, and kind of they've got to a point where our time, our experience of coaching and everything else, they're completely self-sufficient now as well, and we help them when they need it, or we put on obviously development days to help with the coaching with all the experience we've got here. And it just gets better and better. It's just amazing. And, we've had people go on the Run Leader course. We've got, coaches actually taking the next step with Curve. But they're not just leaders. I mean, they're all coaches. They, running drills, technique, how a session should be run, through to just, qualities in the run leaders. It's not just a how fast can we run session, it's actually tailored to the group or even designed for groups. And
then we've got the most amazing people coming along to these groups who are just a pleasure to work with and lead, and are just fantastic. So.
Yeah, and I suppose with all of that, that's where it all comes together with the big running weekend down in Ecclesall Woods, where we've got the support of the guys and girls there and the City Council, which consequently, with all that we do, led to helping with the running routes around the city, helping other running groups and getting involved with their coaching and leading and offering them a little bit of support. But for me, the big running weekend was kind of a bit of a crazy idea to, can we pull all this together into one madcap weekend of just a whole sort of menu of things people could drop in and out of, and do it at a very, very reasonable price and keep that down. And we've had the support to do that. It's just been phenomenal.
It's just a complete celebration of everything we do in a weekend festival of running. So,
yeah.
And then, I mean, the shop itself is just fantastic. At the moment, we've just got such an amazing staff team who are so well trained and fantastic. And then we work with brands who we believe in. We have a strong environmental policy, and we work with brands who are very much working towards having their own environmental policy. We stock things that we believe are good quality, will last, and work for people. Especially in looking at shoes, we look at how we believe that shoes that sort of biomechanically we think will work for the human and the different runners.
Yeah, and I guess for me, what's been interesting is the brands have obviously seen how we've evolved as a business and what we do in the wider community, and their involvement to that and their support of the big running weekend. And in doing so, they're supporting the coaching and the leaders that are actually there. And they've also wanted to get involved in the athletes and the runners that we work with from a coaching Team Accelerate point of view, which is very much about ordinary people doing extraordinary things, who aren't elite athletes but train like elite athletes, and actually demonstrate that they can go out and perform very, very well with quite stressful full-time jobs and things, right the way through to some of the youngsters that quite clearly are pretty quick. And it's just all good fun.
Yeah.
That for me is it. It's just fun. I like doing it.
Yeah, so I think that hopefully sums up Accelerate.